The markets are about to be flipped on their head, and you're missing it. While most people are fixated on tech stocks and the usual market chatter, something massive is happening right now in the silver market. And it's not just a small uptick. Silver just crossed a new threshold, $100 for 1 ounce of American Silver Eagles, not the spot price. I'm talking about what you actually pay to hold it in your hands, $100 in the span of just 48 hours. But here's the thing, this isn't just about silver. This is a signal. A bigger story is unfolding that most people are completely missing. And if you don't understand what's happening right now, you're going to get caught in the chaos. Why? Stick around. I'm going to show you exactly what's behind this surge and why it's a warning sign you can't afford to ignore. The thing is, while the markets are buzzing over stocks and the latest headlines, what's really happening in the silver market is being ignored by almost everyone. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't just another blip. What's driving silver's price right now isn't a typical market fluctuation. There's something much deeper going on, a shift that's shaking the very foundation of how we think about money and value. And you might not even realize it yet, but this could be the start of a much bigger storm. Silver isn't just a metal anymore. It's a safe haven. People are running to it like never before. And the reason is simple. The credibility of the Federal Reserve has been shattered. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is real. Now, here's the question. Why is the silver market reacting this way? What's causing this sudden surge? And more importantly, what happens next? The real shocker? This all started with something you probably missed. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, is under investigation by the Department of Justice. That's right. The man who controls the money printer is now facing a criminal probe over questionable actions during his 2024 testimony and some questionable office renovation expenses. And the media, they're calling it a minor scandal. But here's what they're not telling you. This investigation isn't just a political story, it's a trust killer. And trust, especially in a system as fragile as ours, is everything. Once trust starts to crack, people start running. And what are they running to? Hard assets. Physical silver is one of the first places they've turned to, and it's sending shockwaves through the market. But here's the thing. The media and the Fed want you to believe everything is normal. They want you to keep thinking silver is just a commodity, a metal like any other. But what's happening in the physical silver market is telling a completely different story. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. While you were distracted by headlines about Powell's investigation, the silver market was doing something unprecedented. In just 48 hours, American Silver Eagles, Hamte Norris, the iconic 1 ounce coin that everyone watches, jumped over 100 more at major dealers, might go $100 for 1 coin. Not the spot price, not some temporary spike. This is the new normal for physical silver. Now, why does this matter? Let's compare this to history. Back in 1980, when silver hit $50 an ounce, it was due to an attempt to corner the market by the Hunt brothers. The Fed and exchanges didn't let that happen. They changed the rules mid-game, hiking margin requirements, banning new long positions. They manipulated the market to prevent silver from going higher. But today, the market is behaving differently. The price of silver is no longer just driven by speculation. It's no longer just a commodity. It's become a crisis proxy. Something people are buying to protect themselves from the instability they feel is coming. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about silver, Sam. It's about how the system works and how it's rigged against you. And then something even more unsettling happened. As silver's price surged, dealers started to adjust their prices way beyond the spot price. While the spot price was sitting at $85, the physical price was already over $100. And that wasn't just a minor jump. We're talking a 17.5% premium. Now, if you're new to this, here's why that's a massive red flag. In a normal market, premiums for physical silver are usually just a few dollars over spot, maybe $5 if things are tight. But 17.5%? That's not a market correction. That's a market breakdown. And what's behind this spike? It's a supply crisis. Dealers are running out of stock. Some of the smaller dealers are charging even higher prices because they simply can't restock fast enough. Demand is outpacing supply. At a rate we haven't seen in over a decade, people are scrambling for silver, any silver they can get their hands on, because they fear the dollar and the system that backs it are on the verge of collapse. But here's where it gets even more chilling. This isn't just about silver. It's about the paper market being exposed as a fragile illusion. And the price you see on the screen, that's just a paper bet. What you pay at the dealer is the real price. And that gap is only going to grow. Now let's get personal. What does all of this mean for you? Because this isn't just a story about Wall Street or billionaires. This is about you. You're the one who could get caught in the chaos if you're not paying attention. As retail investors, we're always at risk of being the last ones to know what's really happening. But right now, the writing is on the wall. The price of silver is climbing, but if you're only watching the screen, you're going to miss out on the real story. You see, silver is no longer just a metal, it's insurance. It's a hedge against the financial system breaking down. And if you've been paying attention, you know that people are buying physical silver because they're afraid of what's coming next. So if you haven't already, now might be the time to ask yourself, are you prepared? And if this feels familiar, if this panic buying surge rings a bell, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. What's your plan to survive the storm ahead? Now let's dig deeper. The anger, the fear, the panic, it's all based on a simple truth. The system is broken. But what most people don't realize is that there's a mechanism in place that allows this to happen, and it's one we all overlook. The Fed and the central banks have been playing a game for decades. And now the game is coming to an end. It's not just the investigation into Jerome Powell that's shaking things up. It's the way the system has been designed to keep the average person in the dark, controlled by narratives that distract and mislead. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The physical silver market is showing you exactly what's wrong with the system. It's telling you that people no longer trust the paper game. Yeah, this is where things get dangerous, because when people lose trust in the institutions that control the money, they turn to something else, something real. And that's why the physical silver market is skyrocketing right now. But here's the kicker. It's not just about silver. It's about how the system works and how it's rigged against you. So what happens next? There are two possible paths forward, and neither of them looks like smooth sailing. First, let's imagine a scenario where everything calms down. The DOJ investigation into Powell wraps up, the media does its best to downplay the whole crisis, and maybe the Fed even takes action to restore some credibility. If that happens, silver could cool off. The spot price might dip, premiums could compress, and people might think they've dodged the bullet. But here's the flip side. What if the situation escalates? What if the Fed starts panicking, trying to control the narrative and the system through rate hikes or other aggressive moves? The trust in the dollar could completely collapse. That's when silver and other hard assets, could go through the roof. We're talking $150 per ounce of physical silver, maybe more. But the question is, when do you act? Are you prepared for the possibility that the next move might happen sooner than anyone expects? Here's the bottom line. The Fed's credibility is shattered. Once that illusion is gone, the markets will never be the same. Silver isn't just a commodity anymore. It's the canary in the coal mine. It's telling you that something is fundamentally broken. The paper game is over. People are waking up, and they're running to the only thing that's real: physical assets. Now, this might sound extreme, but the truth is, it's already happening. The physical silver market has decoupled from the paper market, and that $100 price tag, it's the new floor. And if you're waiting for the dip, you might just miss it, because this shift could go much higher. If you want to protect your wealth, you need to start thinking beyond the screen. Forget the numbers they show you in the news. The real price is what you're paying in the dealer's shop, and that's telling you a completely different story. So here's my challenge to you. Don't let the media distract you. Trust the physical reality, trust the signs, and if you're ready to protect your wealth before it's too late, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started.